Hello and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, KK Kaneshiro. The top priority at Fremont Unified is the safety of its students. An important part of achieving that goal is establishing trust between students and the local law enforcement. This fall, the Fremont Police Department introduced a brand new program to help build that trust, bringing officers and staff to every FUSD elementary school as part of its Building Bridges program. Here to tell us more about their efforts is Captain Fred Bobbitt, along with Public Affairs Specialist Monica Leon and Yaneth Contrada, and of course our favorite co-host, Dr. Zamora. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I've never heard about this program, so tell me when this Building Bridges started, who started it, why it started, because I've never heard this.
Okay. Well, it's kind of interesting how we basically got to this point. During the last school year, I visited Grimmer Elementary during the Reading Across America focus on meeting kids through Dr. Seuss's books and things of that nature.
Okay.
Well, fortunately and unfortunately for me is I ended up with a group of sixth graders, actually all of the sixth graders at Grimmer. And the book that I was supposed to read was for kindergartners. So it kind of put me on the spot. So, understanding that they probably, wouldn't focus on the book, I figured I'd take a different path and just had a conversation with the kids. There were just under 60 sixth graders. And I asked them a question. I said, I wanted to know, how many of you have met a police officer? And why that was important to me is, I attend at Fremont Unified, schools, and only three of the 50 plus kids had raised their hand.
Wow.
So yeah, a little concerning. So in addition to that, I asked them, I said, well, let's focus on what we can do as your police department, to build relationships. And so we had a really good conversation, and how we ended the hour is I had each of them write me a short story as to what they thought we could do to build relationships. So I promised them, hey, if the letters were great, I'd be back with a surprise for them.
Oh.
So
of course they were great.
yeah, exactly. So I had an opportunity to review all 50 plus of the letters, and
I bet that was fun.
It was fun at first, but then it became very concerning.
Oh.
And why I say that is a lot of the letters focused on lack of trust. The children were scared of the police officers. They were concerned about, some of the things that they have, had seen,
right.
Whether they've learned it through social media or just, in
TV,
conversations,
news,
TV,
yeah.
news. So I thought to myself, that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what can we do, to, kind of mitigate, and fix this thing. So went back to the police department, met with staff at Grimmer Elementary, and thought let's return to the school with their, surprise, and see if we could, start to build, those relationships. So what I did is I took staff, I took about 8 or 9 co-workers, police officers, professional employees, and we walked into the classroom, we introduced ourselves, and we talked to them about who we were and how we were just like them and their families. And from that point on, it was such an amazing experience, not just for the kids, but for our police, for the organization. We built on that and created this program.
Now, Dr. Zamora, when an outside entity wants to do a brand new program in our schools, do they have to get it approved at the district level, or can they just talk to the principal, or how does this work?
They usually go through the district office, and
Okay.
we will vet them through, but we have a partnership with Fremont Police,
Right.
so they were ready to go. I think the one of the pieces to that was a testament when I attended Grimmer's advancement and Officer Bob. It was on stage, and you could see the relationship and the contact he's made with the students. I think you also read one of the letters from one of the students.
Oh.
I was almost in
Tears.
tears because it was just so powerful. At such a young age to have that trust built.
Right.
I think people always think police officer, it's law enforcement, but it's actually law education. It's also building that relationship, which just speaks volumes of the program at the end. I thought it was unbelievable.
That's great.
It's a great program, what I've seen so far.
That's great. Now, you're only in this Grimmer Elementary, or have you expanded out?
So that was the end of the last school year when we
Okay.
went back, and we kind of ran a test, and it worked out great. I attended their promotional ceremony. And then from there, we met, the district allowed us to come in and meet with all of the elementary school principals.
Okay.
And we came up with a proposal. Why I thought it would be a great proposal is because it would basically be at no cost to the school district. I felt that it was, extremely important after, learning, from the sixth graders at Grimmer,
Right.
that there was a missing link between our sixth graders and the police department. So that's when we got together and we came up with a great program. Monica and Yannette, we sat down, developed a curriculum, and our goal was to basically visit, during this school year, visit all 28 of our elementary schools. And make contact with all of our sixth graders.
Now, do you do this in a school rally or after school, or is it during a class? How does this Building Bridges be conducted?
So the coordination is completely personalized. Yannette and myself will go ahead and outreach to the principals, and then Yannette just does a lot of the scheduling, and she works with the principals and the sixth grade teachers to see what day and approximately what time of the day is good for the students to meet up. From there, we decided to create a presentation that was web-based. That way we could share the presentation with everybody, parents and students.
And kids love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went that route, and then we have different units that come and do a little talk on each portion. So Captain Bobbitt will go ahead and open it up and break the ice with the kids.
Okay.
And then we go ahead, and Yannette and I will do a portion on home safety. And then from there we have a short video that gives a short testimony on a child their age that encountered a home invasion. So it's kind of gives them an idea on how important it is and when to call 911 is. And then from there we jump into the investigations unit. So we'll introduce our detectives, which kind of, so kids know what the detectives look like, and they give a little feedback on that. And then we have traffic unit that does a portion, and we have a special portion.
Wait, does that mean motorcycle or?
Oh yes, the motorcycle makes its way into the multi-purpose room, lights and everything.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, how cool is
everybody
that?
gets very excited for that portion.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have a special portion on cyberbullying and
Nice.
And what's the other
Canines,
one? And the canines. And
Okay.
I mean, so we try to fit our curriculum in within a 35 to 40 minute time span to cover these types
Wow.
of topics. And then from there,
So the second part of the program, the entire program's about an hour and 15 minutes long.
Okay.
So for the second 30 minutes, we break them up into different sections. We have 4 sections. We bring out equipment where they can try on uniforms, the vests, the hats.
That's fun.
And the best part of it is we're able to bring out some of our community service officers as
Yes.
well, who come out and explain the differences between themselves and officers. And it gives each child the opportunity to break off in a smaller section so they can ask questions individually that may not have been answered in the
Right.
larger assembly.
Or they were too shy to ask.
Or they were too shy to ask, right?
Yeah.
So they're in smaller groups. Some of the best experiences we've had is during our introduction phase, where a lot of the employees come. Those employees who speak different languages will actually ask the kids, is there anybody else here who speaks a different language? And they will begin speaking whatever language it may be.
Nice.
So we've covered Spanish, we've covered Farsi, we've covered Russian. And that's just with our police department employees. And you can instantly see this connection that the kids have and this comfort level.
just like
they're
me.
just like us. Yeah.
That's
It's
the
been
key.
a really good experience.
Yeah. Now, I know the high schools have resource officers. Does the elementary, junior high, or do they?
They would call on the high school resource officer to help out if they need any assistance.
Okay. So before this Building the Bridges, most kids wouldn't have any interaction with any police officer until they hit high school.
Yeah, correct. And
So this is awesome.
Yeah, and what's nice is that another segment, we do have the SRO present. So it gives the kids an opportunity to interact with an SRO and understand, and generally what's nice about it is we will bring the SRO that's responsible for the attendance area
Good.
for those elementary schools. And one of the first questions is, how many of you have a brother or sister at whether it's American or Irvington? And
Yeah.
that's a connection, because now they're seeing, wow, this police officer spends his entire day with my, sibling.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really a great opportunity for us to connect with the kids, and you know, we've been able to see it. How I kind of take a look at it is we make sure that we're in the auditorium before the assembly starts,
Okay.
and before the kids arrive.
Right.
So as the kids walk in, their first impression is, okay, here are a bunch of police officers, and you know, you can see they're skeptical, they're concerned, they're not sure what, how this next hour is going to
Yeah.
go. And by the end of that 1 hour, it's amazing. We've
Get
been
new
asked, hey,
friends.
when are we coming back? Can we have your autograph? Just, I mean, it's just amazing. And if you take a look at, when we really focused on trying to develop this program, 3 out of 55 kids had ever met a police officer, to where now, just after today, I think we've reached out to just under 700 so far.
That's
So,
incredible.
Yeah.
The part that I'm really excited to see is what's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years when they enter high school. Being a former high school principal, the students think they're invincible,
Yes.
and they're also very vulnerable.
Yes.
And they don't take the time to ask that question that they're asking at the 6th grade level
Yeah.
that they should have probably asked when they were younger, but now they're in high school. So just to see the development that they've embraced asking those questions now as 6th graders, that they'll be able to ask that question later. Hey, what do you think about this? And they have that relationship with the school resource officer to
Absolutely.
really ask questions about what's happening in their personal life and how it's
Right.
going to affect them later in life.
And that-
It's really key.
And that's a great point, because we have, there's been some great takeaways so far with some concerns that we're able to identify and share with their teachers, share with the administrators at the school. Just to give you an example, there's one area of focus is on home safety. So one of the things that we try to talk to our 6th graders about is, we know that they're at that age now where parents are going to run to the store or leave them home for an hour or two. And the question is, what do you do if someone, knocks on the door? So we've developed a plan for them. We've gotten away from the days of, if someone knocks on your door, we want you to just, go into your room and not acknowledge that, someone's at the door. And one of our concerns was, in the event that they need to reach out to, their police officers, who they now can relate to, how do we want you to do that?
Right.
Cell phone, landline. And what's a little disturbing for us, and we're working on this, there are quite a few kids that are left home with no means of communication. So that's concerning. They don't have a telephone, they don't have access to a cell phone or a landline. So in an event that, and not just whether it be a residential burglary, if there's a medical emergency, how can they communicate with, public safety officials if there's no way to make that phone call?
That's a huge problem. Because a
Yes, it
lot
is.
of people who have cell phones are getting rid of their landlines, and mom and dad took their cell phone to work.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for these kids?
So what we're doing is trying to identify the children that are left home alone without means of communication,
Okay.
and making sure that their teachers are aware,
Okay.
and then making contact with parents to come up with a plan. Whether
Okay,
if
good.
because
Nice.
that was a major concern for us.
Yes, I believe so. Okay. You two have been holding these balls. I gotta ask. What are the balls for? Are we playing catch soup?
So one of our favorite parts of the program is after we break off into the mini sessions, we head out to recess with them. But in order to do that, we want to engage the kids in helping us determine who's going to get the football out of the police officers. We also bring a hula hoop, and we get them to identify one of the officers, or basically pick on the officer who they want to see try to hula hoop with all of his equipment on.
You guys are good sports.
So it's been a lot of fun. But we had these footballs and basketballs. We have a wall ball, as the kids call it. So we've had the opportunity to play wall ball with them. We had them engraved with our program logo and
Nice.
our badge, just so that, when they're out there, they'll think of us. When they're playing with them, they'll just be reminded that we're here for them, and it'll connect a really good memory for them, is what we hope.
Yeah.
So we leave these behind at all the schools that we
This is
we go out
great.
to.
Now, if any of our viewers are watching and they would like to help with this Building Bridges program, whether it's monetary or just their time, who should they go to? Who should they contact?
Well, I would say it's my two wonderful
We
public
looked at
affairs
them.
specialists. Yeah, obviously, we're more than happy. I mean, this is a great program.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
exceeded our expectations so far. So
And so quickly.
yeah, so quickly. Yeah, I think today was stop number 7 of 28, and the reviews are outstanding. Not just from the children, but also from the teachers, the administration, and we've had some.
What did the parents think?
Well, we haven't had any parents attend.
Okay.
But I do know through talking to the teachers and also the staff is that it's just been really positive.
Okay.
It started great conversations, and that's another thing that we really wanted is for when those kids, and we talk to them, when you know that we're here to help you, we're your police department. We're here to make sure you're safe. We're a resource for you. And we've seen it. They don't want us to leave. When are you coming back? And I mean, that's mission accomplished. So
That is so touching.
yeah, it is.
Ah.
It's outstanding. And we also developed, because we do like our students to read.
Yeah.
So Monica
Bookmarks.
and Yannette developed bookmarks, and we leave each one of the kids
Nice.
receives one of these here. So that's it, and they love it. They absolutely love it. So
Now, how many elementary schools do we have?
28.
28. How many do you schedule per week, or does it depend on the school? I mean, there's only so many weeks they're in class.
Yeah, so because it was the first year, it was a little challenging to try to coordinate. What we did this year is we had to decide on a day that's not as busy for, the
Right,
department as a
right.
whole. So we came up with Wednesday. So we only schedule them on Wednesday at this time. So we are looking at a lot of schools not seeing us until, towards the end of the year, realistically, because of holiday breaks and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Are you thinking about expanding this to junior high or middle school, as it may soon be called?
Well, that's a great question. Our goal, so it's a pilot. This is one we're going to kind of reevaluate things in January. But for now, it's been slightly challenging, but a positive challenge, because our goal is to reach each and every one of the 28, and I believe we're at, how many have we had sign up? Well over.
I think I'm probably up into the 20s, because we have a couple of schools within the district that are different types of schools other than the campus
Right,
ones,
right.
right? That they're still considered part of the school district. So they did reach out to me, and they just said, it's okay. We can't really accommodate that kind of program here. So I believe we have about 20.
Yeah. So we will. So it looks like we'll reach all the kids. So as far as expanding, I know that there will be some changes in the future with 6th grade now becoming part of middle school.
Yeah.
So for now, we're attacking this year, and then we'll sit down and the staff will kind of reevaluate and see what we can do. So
I wish you all the best. This sounds like a fantastic program, and I'm sure you're reaching all these kids, and you guys are heroes now, especially when they're asking for your autographs.
yeah, I mean,
Congratulations
thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show. Appreciate you being here. And from everyone here at Community Conversations, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you really soon. Thank you.